In our next park review, we are talking about Six Flags Great America, widely considered one of the best Six Flags parks. And I had been told for ages that I had to come to this park and that it was this great place. And so I was walking in and I was like, okay, let's see what's so great about it. And I walked away and guys, I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised. It was a pretty fun place. By no means is a perfect park, but it's certainly a lot better than some other Six Flags parks. So I'm going to go a bit more in depth to that later on, but this is kind of my overall review. I'm going to talk about every aspect of the park so that if you're planning on visiting, you can know what to expect. So let's first get into this by talking about the thing that everyone loves about Great America, and that is the roller coasters. They do have a great collection of rides. My personal favorite section there, of course, is Goliath. Great RMC. Yes, it is shorter, but it is super fun. They also have Raging Bull, X-Flight. You have Batman the Ride, the first ever B&M invert, and a bunch of other great attractions. And of course, this year they're adding the Joker. So again, another roller coaster to diversify their collection. They have a lot more roller coasters than the average amusement park. So if you're a thrill seeker, you're definitely going to appreciate this place. I mean, it could be the ugliest, trashiest park in the world, but because their roller coasters are still good, people are still going to come here. But luckily though, appearance-wise, this park is pretty good. I mean, it's pretty clean. As far as Six Flags goes, I'd say it does moderately on the beauty scale. They have a decent amount of trees. I would say that I think they do need a bit more flowers here and there. But it was interesting, I saw a banner in the park there that said it was the cleanest park in the world, and I'm thinking to myself, where did they get that title? Did they just, give it to themselves? Because I've never heard anyone ever call Six Flags Great America the cleanest park in the world. That typically goes to Holiday World by the golden tickets, so I'm like, I don't know where they got that from. But I mean, it is a clean park, don't get me wrong. I just don't know if I'd go about saying that Great America is beautiful. But let's talk a bit about some of the themed areas. So first you kind of have the typical Main Street or International Street where you have the fountain and the double-decker carousel. Very picturesque. I love their entrance. I think it's great. Over to the right you have an entire area devoted to a Southwest theme. That's where you can find Raging Bull, the Drop Tower. And that's actually a cool area. They have a decent amount of themed buildings in that section that kind of look Mexico, Spanish type theming. So I think they did a good job in that section. And they also have two areas devoted to the kids' rides, one by Goliath and then one over by American Eagle. And both of those kind of have a distinct theme to it. The one by American Eagle almost feels like your Dr. Seuss area, kind of a wacky theme. I believe that's called Kidsopolis. So some of the areas of the park do have a generic theme, but others you can tell that there's a theme present. I mean, of course, it wouldn't be a Six Flags park without a DC themed area. That's where you're going to find Superman Ultimate Flight, the Dark Knight coaster. But interestingly enough, not all of the DC themed rides are next to each other. I mean, you have Justice League and Batman the Ride completely separate from each other and not anywhere close to rides like Superman and the Dark Knight. So I thought that was kind of interesting. They have DC rides, but they're completely spread out from each other. So that probably could have been thought out a bit more. But at least they're putting the Joker across from Batman. That's very fitting. As far as entertainment goes, I didn't see any shows going on, and I've only been to Great America once, so I'm unaware if they have tons of shows going on across the summer. But at one point, I was walking by the area where you have that old Raging Cajun facade, and they had some people singing in front of it. So I guess that was kind of your entertainment that you get to hear as you're walking by. I'd certainly hope that they have more shows than that, but if there are, I did not see or hear about them. Moving on to talking about food. This felt pretty typical of Six Flags. The food didn't really feel like anything great. It was kind of your typical amusement park food. You have your burgers, pizza, hot dogs, nothing really special here. The one thing I did find interesting was that there was an area that was serving spaghetti, which I don't think I've seen too many amusement parks serving spaghetti. I've seen some theme parks do it, but not amusement parks. So of course I was kind of like, what? An amusement park serving spaghetti? I'm going to go ahead and try it. And it wasn't the best spaghetti. I mean, it was okay, but I thought it was very interesting how an amusement park was serving spaghetti. So I think it's good that they at least had some variety. I mean, I'm not expecting gourmet food there, especially since you can get this all on the dining plan. But I mean, you are probably getting what you paid for. You get the dining plan, you get 2 meals and a snack, which I mean, you know how much I love that snack option. It's great, especially when you want a milkshake or a funnel cake, you can get it. So I do like that. But I've definitely seen better food options at other Six Flags parks. So when I went to Six Flags Great America, I was mainly there to ride the roller coasters, but Great America has lots of other attractions for all age groups. Unfortunately for me, I didn't actually get to try anything other than the roller coasters. Justice League was brand new, but that had a really long line, and I believe the Drop Tower did too. And then I just didn't get around to their Flying Falcon ride or even the double-decker carousel. I would have liked to do those, and I think it's good that Great America has those, but I think it's important to know that if you're going to Six Flags Great America and you only have one day, you're going to have a pretty full day. Supposedly when I went, the crowds were kind of average, and Great America can get packed. I've been told that by tons of people. I believe I went on a Bring a Friend day too. But based on the crowds that this park can get, if you want to be able to get on all of the attractions, you got to keep a pretty good pace. Even I didn't get on all of the roller coasters. I was unsuccessful on getting on V2 because it was broken down. So if I ever went back, I'd definitely make sure and try and get on some of their other attractions, especially major ones like their Drop Tower or Justice League. But I think when you go to Great America, you really kind of have to set out your priorities, say, okay, what do I want to make sure to do, and what am I not necessarily going to have time for? Luckily though, they do have some nice options here to kind of speed things up a bit. Look at Goliath. They actually have a single rider line. It's a little tucked away a bit. It's off to the side, so you really kind of have to know that it's there. But that does make things handy. As for the regular line, when I went there testing out this whole thing to prevent line cutting, everyone in the order that you get in line, you're given a numbered card, and then you turn it in when you get to the station, and that's to make sure that everyone is lined up in their original order and that no one line cut or jumped anyone. So I think that's really cool. It didn't really change your experience waiting in line, and if anything, it was preventative. So I think that that was a cool kind of system. I hadn't seen that anywhere but here. And if it's working and doing its job, then I say, hey, keep it up. So I think to just kind of wrap it all up, Six Flags Great America is a good amusement park. It's a great place to go for a day. You got lots of options as far as roller coasters go. If you're a coaster enthusiast, this place is going to be heaven for you. And yes, in case you're wondering, you can get the kiddie credit. But I think as far as tips go, I would just say that you really need to make sure to get there at the right time. Get there as soon as the park opens. I hit Goliath first. If you want to be able to get everything done, then yeah, you kind of got to keep a good pace. They have a lot of attractions to do. And I'm not even talking about the water park. I mean, yeah, the water park is there, but I mean, if you want to do that too, man, you're going to have a busy day, lots of walking. Now, I would also say that there weren't too many areas for shade, so make sure to wear sunscreen. There's shaded picnic tables there that you can eat your lunch or dinner when you get that. So there are places where you can kind of get out of the sun, but the midways are typically all blacktop and the sun is beating down on you. So definitely be warned of that. But I mean, I had a good time at this park. I think it's a good place and I look forward to seeing what they do next. So let me know about what you think of Six Flags Great America in the comment section below. Let me know if you agree or disagree with some of my thoughts. And of course, stay tuned for more park reviews coming soon to Coaster Studios.